Hey AGF, Pastor Alex here. Welcome to another daily video during this season of Lent. We are going to be tackling the topic today of should you expect anything from God during Lent. This is kind of a unique topic, but I want to challenge you to think about it with me for just a second. So, have you ever been around somebody and the amount of time that you were around them, you've noticed that you started to pick up on a lot of their habits, right? This is something many people do. In fact, growing up, one of my sisters, I won't say who, whenever we'd watch like a movie, she would, if they had any kind of accent in it, by the end of the movie, she would be talking in a hysterical version of that accent. It was never spot on, but it was always funny. Like the movie would end and I would just look over at her and she'd be like, "Well, that was pretty good, huh?" And I'm like, "What is happening? You're not, what are you doing? Don't stop, please." Actually, I didn't want her to stop because it was awesome. But the point I want to get into with this is that the more time you spend around something, you can pick up on their habits. And my wife and I, as we've been married for the past few years, we've noticed that our time together has exponentially increased the habits we've noticed we've taken on from each other. And it's always fun because we're at a point now where I'm not sure which habits started with who. But we both do them. Like there's this thing where I say hi friends to people, and it's something I've done, I don't know how long, but my wife does it, and it hit me the other day that she did it, and I asked myself, did I learn that from you, or did you, like, who started that? Who was the first person to do it? And here's what I want to challenge you with, and you're probably confused how this has anything to do with the topic, but it's there, trust me. This is what I believe. While our expectation shouldn't be about getting from God in a time of Lent, time of Lent is about an acknowledgement of our humanity. It's about a denying of ourselves. But what it is it's also a growing closer to the heart of God. And what I believe to be true is the more time we spend with God, the more He transforms us and shape us to model the heart of Christ. So our lives are going to change. The more we focus on Jesus, the more we spend time with Jesus, the more that our time is and our attention and our focus is spent in that way, and we deny ourselves during that same season, God's going to begin to transform our lives and transform our attitudes. The season of Lent is a great season, but the purpose of Lent is to carry on character traits that last not just 40 days, but our lifetime. And this isn't just a great time for you to be a generous person or a person who cares about others or a person who stops certain habits. This is a great time to build habits about coming to the Father more often and about denying your needs, and during those times of denial, focusing on the Father and watching how you build habits of spending time with Jesus. And what I know to be true is the more time you spend with Jesus, the more like Him you will become. In Luke chapter 6, verse 32 through 36, this is a few verses, but hang in there, it says this: "If you love only those who love you, why should you get credit for that? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good only to those who do good to you, why should you get credit? Even sinners do that much. And if you lend money only to those who can repay you, why should you get credit? Even sinners will lend to other sinners for a full return. Love your enemies, do good to them. Lend to them without expecting to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as a child of the Most High, for He is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. You must be compassionate, just as your Father is compassionate." This is what I know. God isn't asking you to do something for a reward. He's calling you to do it to marvel and to match the character of Christ. And as we demonstrate Christ's character, there's an infectiousness that changes those around us to focus on us and ask us where we're getting it from. Like, why would you do that? Why would you give up your time? Why would you go help that person? Why would you give money? Why would you go give away food boxes when you're supposed to be working? Why would you do this or that? Whatever your thing in Lent is, why would you stop being on social media? Why would you fast meat? Why would you, whatever your thing is, it's an opportunity to point people to Christ. And while I don't believe that you should fixate your thoughts or focus on what Jesus can give you, I know that when we focus our thoughts on what we can give God, He does so much in turn. And what I truly believe will be changed is that we will receive a heart and a character that looks a lot more like Christ than it did before. So don't go in expecting something from Jesus in the sense that you're going to walk away with more money than you had at the beginning or more patience. You might not be more patient. transformation. But I do believe that what happens is there's a character transformation that takes place every time we spend time with God. Just like when you spend time with a friend and you notice the habits that they have, you'll begin noticing the habits of Christ forming in your life the more you spend with him. So be encouraged by that today, and notice and remember in all of these trials of fasting and denying of yourself, remember that you're being shaped and molded to look a lot more like Christ, and that's a really good thing. So we love you, church, and we'll see you soon.